Go ahead.
Hi, I'm Daryl, and I want to share with you today my community grief support service experience.
How did you get acquainted with community grief support services?
When I was young, I lost both of my parents, but I didn't deal with the pain of their loss until much later in life. In pursuing some grief support in Birmingham, I called the OLV Catholic Church here in town, and they sent me to Steve Sweat and the Community Grief Support Services.
What was your first experience with CGSS?
So I called Steve and set up an appointment. He has an initial kind of consultation that he does to figure out, where you're at and that sort of thing. And what I noticed about Steve initially was he was very soothing and very relaxing. As a matter of fact, in that first hour, it was amazing how far we got in 1 hour.
What happened after your first session with Steve Sweat, the clinical director at CGSS?
So Steve asked me to come back for a couple other sessions. We could dive a little deeper into my loss. And it's amazing how over the next couple of sessions, we really delved into some things that I never had as a child and as an adult. And it culminated in a session where I was planning a trip to visit some of my relatives that I hadn't seen in decades. And he gave me some pointers on how to talk to them, what to ask them, things like that to make the visit more successful. And it was a very successful visit to see the relatives.
Did you participate in any support groups that CGSS offers?
Yes, as a matter of fact, I got to participate in one group as a guest speaker where I told my story. It was well received by the group, and there was lots of questions afterwards. It was really nice sharing my story. And currently I'm involved in another group, loss of parents, grandparents, and siblings, where I'm a volunteer participant, and I am a supportive listener. I share my story and help with some of their issues. The big thing I found in the groups is that I realize that I'm not alone in my grieving, and there's lots of folks that are going through very similar experiences.
How would you sum up your CGSS experience?
I would say CGSS and Steve Sweat have been a lifesaver for me. I've come a long ways in 2 short years in my process, and really opened my eyes to the idea that there is an organization out there in Birmingham that helps folks who are grieving to get through it and to make them realize that they're not alone.